Peace and good morning to you. It is November the 29th. We got what? One more day, I think. Yeah, one more day of November. And we're stepping through the doors of December, preparing ourselves to go into the new year of 2023, whatever that's going to bring for you. So, however you close out your year, this is how I see it. However you close out your year actually prepares you for what you're going to possibly do in the beginning of the new year. Just really depends on what are your process of thought. Peace. Good morning, Miss Myrick. We supposed to have that meeting yesterday. I didn't get that phone call. Today's Tuesday. All right. Not the air the laundry out there, but anyway. So today we're talking about become unrecognizable. So let me put the caption up there before I forget. You know, when you get older, you be forgetting things sometimes. Becoming unrecognizable. So becoming unrecognizable is a very interesting process of thought when you actually think about it. Like, what is unrecognizable? Yes. Go ahead, put that emoji up there. What what is unrecognizable? Think about that for a moment, because a lot of times when we look at things as unrecognizable, it definitely has. I'm not really going to say a negative connotation or yeah, I'm not going to say a negative connotation, but it's really depends on how you see it, and I really want you to see it from a different perspective, especially today, because I think we're going to tap into something just a little bit different from what you're used to as far as something being unrecognizable. All right. So let's go ahead. Well, like always, I thank you. I appreciate you. Hey, coming to clean today. I don't have a lot of time today. Um, I'm preparing for a uh meeting that I'm going to, not really a meeting, preparing for lessons that I'm going to be doing out in the Houston area. But send an email and we can set that up, Miss Mimi. All right, so let's begin to tap into the process of thought. That's where I want you to be and to dwell in this time right now. So, what I want you to do right now is think about how you see yourself. Right? Just think about that for a moment. Like, inhale, exhale. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. If you're not driving, close your eyes and think about how you see yourself. Like, I am strong. I am intelligent. I am beautiful. I am whatever this is. So now, after you have exhaled all of that, that's how you see yourself. So now, I want you to think about the process of becoming unrecognizable. Becoming unrecognizable. Unrecognizable is really how people see you. Because sometimes the way we see ourselves is not the same of how the perception of what people see or how they see us. Because sometimes they don't match. But with you, what I want you to do is begin the process of becoming unrecognizable. So let's go ahead and jump in this lesson. But before we jump into this lesson, I almost forgot. I thank you and I appreciate you for being here. You could be anywhere right now in the world at 7:30 in the morning, but you're right here on this platform. Consistency is currency, your morning podcast choice. And like always, we always start in a spirit of gratitude. We always start in a spirit of peace. And I always want you to start your day and continue your day just how you started it. Strong, and continue your day how you started it, in peace, and how you started with me. So thank you for being here. Those that's listening into the podcast distribution, whether it's iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, whatever the distribution of choice is yours, we definitely thank you for being here and sharing this digital space. So let's go ahead and jump 2 feet deep in become unrecognizable. And like always, this is the interactive platform. So when we go into our inversions of definitions, whether it's red over white or white over red, if it's red over white, then you can define it in how you see it. Go ahead and put that inside the chat because this is interactive. I can learn from you just as well as you can learn from me. And let's go ahead and start on this digital journey of becoming unrecognizable. Let me get this white screen out the way. All right, here we go. So, the very first definition, unrecognizable. It says not able to be recognized. I mean, it's self-explanatory because that's what, you know, unrecognizable is. It's not being recognizable. So it says the definition of unrecognizable is not able to be recognized or identified. And the inversion that we're going to be communicating about today with this definition is not able to be recognized. Like people recognize you for doing certain things, right? I want you to begin to process your thought. People recognize you for doing certain things. Marinate on that. And the second definition of unrecognizable is unable to be identified, often because of significant change. See, I'm leading you into it. Again, the definition is unable to be identified, often because of significant change. And the focus that I want you to pay attention to, the inversion of white over red, because of significant change. Because of significant change, like because people are not used to seeing you happy. They're not used to seeing you happy. I'm unrecognizable because of significant change. Like, I'm 46. I'm definitely not the who that I am when I was 26. I'm definitely not the who that I am when I was 36. I'm definitely not the who that I am when I was 40. Because of significant change. Because of the significant change that happened within you, people are seeing you as unrecognizable, but you're going to have to be okay with that. I am, because it's like the older you get, it is what it is. You get what you get, unless there is a significant change that I feel that need to take place. But becoming unrecognizable is because of a significant change that you have developed within your own life. That's what we're talking about. To become unrecognizable. Because there has to be a significant change about you. There has to be a significant places where you go. Significant things that you read. Significant ways that you feed your inner man, that inner peace, or your inner spirit, or whatever it is that you call it for yourself, your inner essence, whatever it is, you feed into your energy, whatever. You become unrecognizable because of a significant change. Like, open question: are you still the same person you were 10 years ago? That's a question that you can answer. Like, are you still the same person that you were 10 years ago? Are you still the same person that you were 5 years ago? If you are, then maybe you need to look at what change that you need to make in order for you to develop into what tomorrow is not just going to bring for you, into what tomorrow has for you. Look at that significant change. And the next definition is of unrecognizable is very different from your memories of it. Because a lot of times we get into spaces to where things have hurt us. We get into situations to where there's family drama and it happens repeatedly over and over again, or things that happen in our lives, whether it's business or whether it's personal, that those things have had significant effects upon us But we have to begin to look at it from a perspective of, if I'm ever going to get through it, or if I'm ever going to get over it, if I'm ever going to knock this thing completely out and to create change within inside of me, I'm going to have to look at those memories differently. One, I have to acknowledge that it happened. I have to identify what it is, but then I have to take the next steps and what it takes in order for me to look at it differently. Maybe your smile is different. Maybe the way that you carry yourself is different. Maybe the way that you laugh right now is different. Maybe you're a lot happier right now. It's different. But to a lot of people, you become, or you have became, unrecognizable. And it is okay, because I don't need you to see me in the way that I was 5, 10, 15 years ago. I don't need you to see me in the way that I was when the pain was so unbearable. I don't need you to see me that in the way that I was when the anxieties were so heavy that it compounded on top of you and it weighed you down. It made you look older than what you are. It made the bags under your eyes so heavy that you didn't want to come outside because you look unrecognizable. So you put shades on just to make you look unrecognizable. But when you change the way that you think and how you see it, and when you change the way that you assume the responsibility of it, and then when you become a lot happier in yourself, you become unrecognizable. Like it's okay to be happy. It's okay to smile. It's okay to be in a place that that you can learn more about you, and it's okay. Like Miss Terry said, she said, whenever you make changes, a lot of people tend to say that you're different. I don't recognize that person that you are. That's so true. And the thing, Miss Terry, is people don't want to recognize the change that is beneficial to you. And I don't know why that is. It makes no sense, but I think we have to get to the point to where I don't care what you don't recognize, as long as I recognize that there is something different about me. As long as I recognize I know where I came from, and I'm looking at my memories differently. I'm looking at my memories as a lesson. I'm looking at my memories as a situation that I was once in, or I'm looking at my memories as a way out that is going to get me, or as a way in that's going to get me to that place that I so desire, which is, whether it's inner peace, whether is it in a direction that is progressive, in a direction that is forward, in a direction that's going to change lives. Because one thing that I thought about today as I was running this morning, it's like, a lot of times we don't set ourselves up for success because we allow other people to set us up for failure. I'm gonna say that again. Whoever that was for, that's you. Put the shoe on, tie it up. We spend more time allowing ourselves not to set ourselves up for success because we allow other people to set ourselves up for failure. And I'm gonna tell you how that happens. So, as we begin the process of taking this deep dive, I want you to think about today, like where you are. Today is your day to count on you. I want you to say that. Put that inside the chat. If you're watching this or you're listening to this, if you need to write it down for you to remember it, or if you need to text it to yourself or text it to someone that need to hear this today, or again, drop it inside the chat. Today is your day to count on you. And you have to assume those words. You have to assume that responsibility, because if you don't assume that responsibility, how are you having high expectations that someone is going to be ready for you to count on them, or someone needs them to count on you, whatever it is. But today is your day to count on you. I mean, honestly, this could be a struggle because you've been counting on everybody for a long time. You've been putting yourself in places to where you have allowed people to hurt you. But today is your day to count on you. Use your use your past experience to be the fuel to become unrecognizable. Now, I'm not putting any negative connotation on it and you trying to use other people against them and all this stuff. No, like, this is you focusing on you. This is you recognizing the things that you've done. This is you recognizing the places that you are, the places that you've come from, the experience that you've gained. Allow that experience to be the fuel, to be the lessons in order for you to become unrecognizable. Because don't you know folks will count you out faster than they will count on you? I'm going to say that one more time. Folks will count you out faster than they will count on you. Because becoming unrecognizable can actually be so profound in your transformation to where you no longer recognize your past self. Now, you can identify your past self, but like, you know what? I don't recognize that person because I have become unrecognizable myself. I can identify who that person is, just like I can identify the path that you're going down because I've been down that path. And that path lead to nowhere but destruction. That path lead to nowhere but pain. That path lead to nowhere but trauma. That path lead to nowhere but being broke. It's keeping that same mindset. There is no transformation until you have seek the so profound transformation of becoming unrecognizable. You have to be willing to change your belief system of how you see yourself, of how you see your past situations. Sometimes, like, we're so focused on the situation that we can't even focus on how we're going to see our way out of it. Now, I'm not talking about you losing sight of the situation because you know what it looks like, but focus on how you're going to get out of it. Focus on the applied task, because a lot of times we fall victim to the applied task and we lose out on what task is at hand, especially those that's prior military. You already know task and applied task, because applied task is just as important as the task at hand. Because becoming unrecognizable is you having to have the ability and the capacity to see your way out and to handle those things that you face. It's not always going to be hard, as well as it's not always going to be easy, but you have to do it. There's plenty of people that's not used to seeing you happy. There's plenty of people that's not used to seeing you free. They're not used to seeing you heal because they were so used to seeing you broken. They were so used to seeing you broke. They were so used to looking at you crazy and calling you out of your name, but let them know that you can be happy. Because what if you become so unrecognizable that you're happy now? They'd be like, oh, there's something new about you. I just can't, like, yeah, like I'm happy. I'm growing. I'm processing. I'm learning. I'm listening. I'm developing. You don't have to feel powerless by staying in a known situation or what you want to call and consider your comfort zone. You don't have to feel powerless by staying in that comfort zone or that known situation, because you could actually feel powerful by stepping out on faith, by walking into a unknown, unrecognizable situation, by walking into your freedom and walking into your truth. Because if you look at it this way, people say, "Oh, I'm trying to change my life, I'm trying to turn my life." But do you know how you can achieve 360 degree of change? 1 degree at a time. That's it. That's the answer. 1 degree at a time. That's the simple answer. If you want to have a 360-degree change in your life, you change 1 degree at a time. People trying to eat the whole elephant, but it's one bite at a time. It's 1 degree at a time. Can you change 1% of you? Can you change what time you wake up? Can you change how you respond to certain things? Can you change how you think about certain things? Can you change what you say to certain people? Can you change how you deliver it to people? Can you change the content that you speak about? Or can you change what you're reading? Can you change where you go? Can you change what you eat? Can you change how long you work out? Can you change if you work out? Can you change what you watch on TV? Can you change what you watch when you go to the movies? Can you change who you communicate with? Can you change the settings that you find yourself in? Yes. But the thing is, are you willing to do it? Are you willing to be consistent at it? Are you willing to acknowledge that change needs to be made? 1 degree at a time. Just 1 degree at a time. You don't have to change it in 60 degrees, but can you change 1 degree at a time? I think that's like the the question of closing out the year. If your November is just like what it was in January, and you're preparing for your December to get prepared for your January all over again, don't you fix your raggedy hand, do a vision board and write journal until you change the process of thought. A lot of times we want to do things, we want to go places, but your thought process is still the same. There isn't going to be any change until the process of thought change, until how you process the way that you think and how you process the way that you have assumed certain things. But until you change your mindset, I'm not just saying it just to say it. Hell, I've been there. I lived it. I'm not perfect. I still work on things. I still understand that there should be a 1 degree of change. It's like there's always a 1 degree of difficulty. We want to identify the 1 degree of difficulty, but we don't want to talk about the 1 degree of change. We don't want to talk about the 1 degree of success. It's too easy to deal with the the negativity bias, but let's talk about the places that we've gone and the things that we've come out of. All right. I'm gonna leave that alone. Y'all take that and do whatever you want with it. You take the shoe if it fits, cool. Tie it up, put a bow in it, double knot it, whatever it is, and don't you take it off until it's time for you to take it off. All right, I'm done. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all like always. I'm just a vessel. I'm just here to do what that is required of me to do, what is required of me. Um, to open doors, however you walk through it is if you so choose to walk through that door. And what you do when you walk through the threshold is up to you. It's your responsibility. I'm just supposed to deliver it. Call me your Uber Eats. I'm just going to deliver you food for thought. And however you consume the food for thought is completely up to you. But that's it. Man, y'all be blessed. And remember, here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. And I thank y'all for being here. And I thank you for doing what you do. Because I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Because I have a requirement, just like you have a requirement. Because this podcast been going on almost, is it a year yet? I don't know. Because I know that I've grown and developed in this process of what I do. Every time that I do it, I feel that I'm getting open enough. Like I feel when my delivery is off because I can feel it. I can feel my delivery is on. Even though sometimes I'll get up here and there may be one person watching. I don't care if there's one or that number is 0. As long as I'm doing what I'm required to do, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, then I'm doing what I need to do. All right, whatever. Man, y'all be blessed. And remember right here at Consistency and Currency, your morning podcast of choice, I will drop the podcast link so you can listen to it. Now, listening to it on the podcast is way different than watching it on the Facebook Live or watching it on YouTube. So make sure you click the link and listen to the podcast. You got, what is this, episode 237. So you got 236 episodes that you can go back and listen to because I think tomorrow's going to be good. Let me figure out. I had what tomorrow was going to be. I was going to put it out, like tell you what tomorrow's conversation going to be about, but I'm not. So I see you tomorrow right here, 7:30 at Consistency is Currency, morning podcast of choice. Y'all be blessed. Peace.